Hey folks, as you may know by now, my Age of Empires 2 building dioramas are turning into a series. I made the archer range, then made the stables building. Continued the unit production buildings, I suppose, with the barracks. In this video, I'm making this piece and getting it ready for the next video. So I start the build by cutting the necessary pieces to make the basic form of the building. This building has 4 different sections: the main building, 2 sides and the front gate. So I glued all the cardboard cutout parts with CA glue as usual, and applied baking soda whichever part didn't glue well or where there were gaps. Closed off the roof of the main building and got it out of the way for now. Then started building the side sections or wings of the building, and moved on to the gate. It's actually a pretty straightforward build except the gate section, I suppose. The round arch somewhat complicates this build, but it's not much of a problem. Before I glued the pieces together, I initially planned to build all sections completely, then finally glue them together. The idea to do that was to get myself ready for bigger and more complex builds in the future, like castles, forts and such. But I got lazy, I suppose, and glued the pieces together. Lacking the necessary geometry skills, I had a bit of a hard time to deal with the angles of the corner sections of the roof parts. Finally, I glued the main building to the rest, which I regret later on. Now, at this point, I realized that my height measurement was quite off. This is supposed to be high enough to let a rider pass through the gateway. So I decided to lift it up by 2 centimeters, which was really an inconvenience. For some reason, I can really never get the measurements right before I start seeing some parts of what I'm building. But when it comes to imaginary scratch build projects, it's mostly easy to fix such measurement errors and even adds up fun to the project. After this, I started on the shingle work. And in order to have a resemblance to the previous 2 buildings, I went for the more time-consuming method to lay each single shingle piece on each part of the roof. I used cardstock instead of cardboard for the side parts roofs because I got tired of cutting a thicker material like cardboard. And I thought it would be a nice difference to see different type of shingles on different parts of the building. Of course, we'll be able to see this when it's fully painted. I might even go for a slightly lighter tone of color for the side roof bricks when that time comes. Anyway, I completed the madman's job by adding a final layer of shingles on the top sections to bind each final layer of shingles together. For the windows and the doors, I used the regular materials and approach. I tried to stay loyal to the original image and place a door to the side opening up to the courtyard. No matter the size of it, we can call it a courtyard, I guess. I don't know. I intentionally made a pair of window frames rounded and the front-facing 4 in a square shape to match the original ones. After the doors and windows, I continued the woodwork. Used steering sticks and chopsticks as lumber. Again, I tried to stay true to the original image here with this detail. And the reason I used 2 different types of sticks here was to differentiate the wooden detail. I like the graininess of the steering sticks, but using them everywhere looks a bit boring. Next day I started on the stonework. Here I wished I didn't glue the parts of the building before I was done with the stonework. The sections facing the courtyard was quite hard to lay these stones. Like I said before, I should have completed the stonework of each section of the building, then glue them together. Maybe with the next build I'll push myself to not slack and give it a try. Anyway, I completed the stonework over the night, intentionally kept some gaps here and there to fill those with baking soda to create the mortar effect. I kept this to a minimum as well, as I didn't like the result of this method all that much in the previous build. Maybe it would work better in a bigger scale project. and I sealed the baking soda with diluted PVA glue. The next day I worked on creating some grains and such over the lumbers. Especially the chopsticks are too smooth and end up not looking all wood-like after the painting. With everything done, I primed this in a darker gray and completed this part of the build. It's not my way to end the video with an unfinished build, but as I explained before, I stopped rushing my builds. So I built and prepared this one in this video. And in the upcoming video, I'll be painting this, adding figures, and completing this build with its base. Thank you all for watching this, stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you all later, and bye bye.